afternoon, everyone. You're listening to Listed by Mina Cooper, and you are listening to KHTS 98.1 FM, 1220 AM. I had so much to think about today. I thought I almost forgot that, but I didn't. I hope everyone's having a great afternoon. My show is, I'm a realtor, and my show is about trust, probate, and divorce. And we talk about things that people should know that they don't know, and then they ask people and they never really find out. And I feel it's so important to be educational about what you should know. And today I have Chris Griffin with me today. I'm really excited. I've worked with him in the past on several deals over the years, and he always stood out in my mind. And when I decided to have this show, I said, well, let me call Chris Griffin from Loraca Inspections. They're one of the largest private inspection companies in California, and they also have specific modules within their inspection company. So they have insured and licensed mold roofers, chimney people, because everything is so specific. You want someone who's really going to go in and do what they need to do and make sure they don't miss anything and not be sloppy about it. So, Chris, do you want to talk a little bit more about when you started your inspection company? And I find it fascinating. You guys just go in there and you start crawling all over the place. I'm like, whoa, where'd you go? Tell me about it.
Well, thank you, Mina. I'm excited to be here. Before I tell you about it, I wanted to give you this little gift and thank you for inviting us on your show today.
Thank you. And I'm so happy it's not bikini weather right now, so I'm really excited I can eat some. Okay, thank you, Shane. Maybe I'll give you some too.
Well, good. You guys can share
Thank
that.
you, thank you, thank you.
I actually got into the inspection industry around 2000. I was a plumbing contractor prior to getting into the inspections, and I came into Loraca Inspections as an inspector. And in 2004, the owners of Loraca approached me and wanted to start a sewer line company, a sewer line inspection company. And we have a sewer line inspection company called Sewer Line Check Professionals. And with my background in plumbing, that company is one that is my baby that I started. And in that time, I then became a partner. And since then, I became the general manager of all of them and then a partner in all of them. And here I am today, the president.
Interesting.
It's been a great ride.
How amazing. It's really, I guess when you're, it's like anything else, like cutting hair or, when you get it and you get really in there and you go through every detail and you find what you need to find. It's like a home run, right?
Yep.
I got it. I did it.
Absolutely.
Here, look at this. This is great. And people are so grateful. How would you do inspections differently for people going through divorce? Let's say, people don't know, and especially it's a very emotional time for people, and they're kind of not thinking about that. And they put the house on the market, but kind of should be flipped around a little bit. You need to really pre-plan what you're doing and then write everything down. Tell me what your thoughts are about that.
Yeah, thank you. It's important to understand that the inspection process wouldn't be any different, really, because the inspector is there to look at issues that may deal with safety, issues or items at the end of their life, things like that. But I think it's very important, especially if the inspector is aware of the situation, whether they be told by the agent or, possibly somebody involved in the transaction. I think it's important that the inspector be sensitive to those issues and to take them seriously and not try to engage in that issue. It's a personal issue. It's got nothing to do with them. So remain focused on the client inspector relationship is very important, and really getting the client involved with the inspection. Maybe it'll help them take their mind off of what's going on as well.
Right.
But really, I think the sensitivity to that situation they're going through is important. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that, I know sometimes people are on the fence about how they're going to split their assets and who gets what and what does that all look like. Is it even good for them to have an inspection done before they put it up for sale? Because if there are potential issues that will be addressed, then they're wasting time because most people will do an inspection. And I know if you don't know anything, you don't have to disclose it. But,
Right.
There's two sides to that. Most people will do an inspection.
Right. I think as far as potential litigation is concerned, disclosure is absolutely the way to go.
I agree. That's why I feel
Right.
that, if I was going through anything that was so needed to be planned because there are other people involved, I would certainly do it because I want to disclose to people what I know. And this is what it is, instead of haggling and then getting into more of a stressful situation.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And in that situation, I think we would look at that as similar to a pre-listing inspection. Um, by having the sellers get an inspection, it can help to manage their expectations, if you will. The inspector may discover things about the home that they knew not, that
Yeah,
they knew nothing
exactly.
of.
Right.
If it is a divorce, maybe the husband thinks the home is brilliant and perfect because of all of his handiwork that he
Yes,
did throughout.
exactly. No, that tile was
Yes,
just special.
exactly. So there may be things that are discovered that could help in facilitating the transaction moving forward a little bit more smoothly because that information is now known.
Yeah.
You know,
And I agree. You can hide things under the rug, no pun intended. But it's true. People are
they
like, oh, no
try.
one's gonna know. I'm like, just talk about it because you're gonna have to deal with it at
Yeah,
some point, and you want
yeah.
to do it prior to going through all the haggling and all that because I really feel that you want things at that point to be less stressful, especially when you have children. And I know you're a family man, and yeah, I heard you like to cook, so I don't know when I'm going to be invited for dinner, but I'm always invited to. I always will come for a good invitation. I'll bring the kids and everybody, and I'm just kidding.
I'll put you on the guest list.
What is it that you like to cook?
I like to cook all sorts of
That's awesome.
dishes. I dabble and I experiment in many different cuisines, if you will. I have a small cooking class that I do at my
Oh,
house
wow.
on
How cool is
Sunday
that?
evenings. Yes, it's very fun. But I very much enjoy really cooking for family and friends, and I get a lot of pleasure and joy out of just watching the table is quiet.
Isn't it
And
great? When people are enjoying food, it's really the ticket to their heart,
it's incredible. I actually was an aspiring chef when I was young.
Oh, I knew there was something there.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, when I was young, and then I worked in a restaurant, a few restaurants, and I lost my taste for it. I just didn't want to do it as a business. I was
It's
so
a tough
passionate about it.
business.
Yeah, I just didn't want to
It's
do it.
it's tough business. You don't get the same gratification as you do when you do it for your family and your friends.
I watched a couple restaurants go under,
Yeah,
and the owners, who were one of them, was very good friends of mine, and it was just a real tough thing to watch,
of
obviously to go
course.
through, but even
Yeah,
to watch. So
because
yeah, I just moved away from it.
yeah, no, I understand. But certainly, holidays are coming. I drink and eat, so.
Okay,
But
again, I'll put you on the guest list.
you heard that. Everybody heard that.
That's
That
right.
is out there.
I have to now.
Can't take it back. I have to now. And and let's get back to, I don't know if I mentioned to you, Chris, I am an author of a book, How to Sell Your Inherited Property Tips and Tricks. I really thought it was important for people to know certain things when they're going to anticipate an inheritance type of situation, whether it's a less engaged with the probate and just a regular inheritance and just need a fiduciary to sign off on paperwork and do all that, or if it gets more complicated potentially, what all the tips and all these little things that people don't look at because they're busy doing what they're doing, right?
Right.
Like certain things I don't know because I would hire someone like you. I'm not going to inspect things that I don't know I'm looking at. Maybe after you tell me once or twice, I may know a little bit about it, right?
Right.
But what do you think about when people are inheriting properties? Do how do you go about that?
Well, we offer an inspection called a review inspection,
Uh-huh.
and that basically is an inspection that can be done when there's no real estate transaction. The state of California actually requires for a home inspection, a CREA,
Yes,
California Real
yes.
Estate Inspection Association, inspection to be performed, that the home must be, or the property must be, connected with a transfer. But if there is just someone living in the home or whatever, and they want some general information about the home, we can do what's called a review inspection.
Oh, that's great.
And then my website is full of information for buyers, sellers, anybody who's interested
Is
in
it?
real estate.
That's great. I've been so busy. I looked at it, but I didn't master it. I always get interrupted with a phone call, but that's okay because people want to talk to me about certain things, or
Sure.
my kids want to know how to spell a word.
course.
So all these things are important. So you got to balance it out. But I'm going to go in there and really dig deep because I would love to talk about it on my blogs because it's all about information. I'm all about information.
Yeah.
The wealthier you are in information, the better anything you do will be.
Yeah, knowledge is power. I
Yes.
agree with you 100%.
Yes.
I gave you a copy, but this is the Buyer's and Seller's Guide to Inspections. And your listeners can download a free copy on my website
That's awesome.
at loracainspections.com. And basically, this really is a quick little booklet that helps buyers and sellers sort of understand the process that they're going to be getting involved
done
in.
so nicely. And
Thank
Loraca
you.
is spelled Larocca, and you're one of my sponsors, so I know it will be repeated all the time.
Thank you so much.
But Larocca, Larocca, inspections.com to educate yourself on things that you need to know but you don't know. And how far do you go down San Diego to? Or
No. It's funny. We're basically the greater LA area.
Okay.
We'll go into Orange County. We come up into Thousand Oaks and
right,
things like
and
that.
come up this way.
We come
Yeah.
up this way, absolutely. This would definitely be considered one of our service
and
areas.
especially areas that are more rural or have more brush, and there's been affected fires, for insurance purposes, where people are going to get insurance and may have had a fire years ago, and I think that would help with verifying whether things are up to par or not. It would help with their premiums, because insurance companies right now will try to obviously make as much because they had to pay out a lot.
Right. Many insurance companies oftentimes would require a specific inspection to the fire hazards of the property.
Interesting.
My general Loraca inspection or a real estate inspection would make mention of these things, but they're not geared specifically to that item. But I can't tell you how many attic accesses we've opened and looked up and seen burnt timbers inside the home and found out that wasn't even disclosed.
Wow.
That there was like a house fire 7
Wow,
years
and they have
ago,
to get
10
the
years
building
ago.
department in there to
Yeah,
verify it was done
structurally,
properly
yes, to
with
make
like
sure.
someone like yourself, because if it's not done properly, there's a large liability for the seller
Absolutely.
or people that are visiting or themselves. It's dangerous.
That's
You know,
right.
things should need to be up to code. And a
Absolutely.
lot of people, I feel that kind of, again, they don't want to deal with it because they don't want to pay for it or they're busy. Time flies, right? Here I am, another Tuesday. I felt like I did my other show yesterday, and time flies so
Yeah, of
fast. But
course.
I really, I try to make a to-do list right now. I think with everything going on, I think having introspection, being, looking inside of what's going on in your world, because before we were all busy running and running and going, so we didn't really have time to look at that. And we, for better or for worse, we have more time to look at that, right? And see what's important, because we're not running, we're not in traffic all day, going to meetings, coming home 7, 8 o'clock at night, exhausted, where we have that time, and everything has a reason and a purpose.
Yeah.
Whether it looks bad or good, it's how you look at it, And I feel people freeze up, and I always say this because they just stop. And that's okay for a little bit, but you got to keep on going because, it'll be like cleaning house, right?
Absolutely. I agree with you. I think it's better usually to just take care of business now and just sort of push through, as opposed to then having to take care of whatever the
Yeah.
fallout may be in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
Usually addressing those items now, especially when it comes to disclosure or pushing through the transaction or whatnot, because the ramifications on the other end, if they're not addressed now, could be.
Yeah. And I do want to mention to everyone, we have plexiglass in between us. See? Ooh. So we're social distance, and the air here is filtered, accommodating the situation. So we're all very careful because we do go into people's homes and go with people, and we're very we want to be well. We want to be healthy.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
like being healthy. It makes me happy. And Chris, what do you feel? Do you feel a lot of people? Do you ever get challenged on inspections?
What do you mean by challenged?
Like people say, well, the seller may say, oh,
Oh, all the time.
or the buyer says, I don't know, I think there's something wrong. My father showed me something like that once, and I
Yeah.
am going to have someone else come in.
All the time. All the time. If it's our client, a buyer, then of course we would graciously accept their information. And if
Yes.
they'd like that in the report, as long as it's a reportable item and a category that we report under, we'll be happy to put the information in the report. You have to remember that this, for your listeners, of course, that even though I'm working for you as a buyer and or a seller,
Yeah.
we still have to be middle of the road.
Right. And the thing is, when you choose a realtor, even if they don't know Chris from Loraca Inspections, you can suggest that they call you because you're so thorough. You really are. I've worked with inspection companies before because it wasn't my choice, and they were not thorough. And I was, I did. What do you say, right?
I know, what can you do?
It's not my place at some point, depending on how close you are to the people. But I'd be like, you whiz right through this. It should take a while. There's a lot of things to look out for, whether it's water damage or smoke damage or whatever, or maybe even structural damage. Who looks at the structure of the property to see if the structure is good?
The general physical inspector will look at the items regarding the structure.
Got it.
Those areas that are open to view, such as the attic, the roof, the foundation. And of course, if they see anything that would need further advice or attention by an expert, they would recommend that expert.
And again, Chris, can you please let our viewers know and listeners know how to get in touch with you and your website, your phone number, and how fast your turnaround? I know you guys are on it. Your staff is amazing.
Thank you.
They work quickly. You don't have to wait 3 days for someone to get back to you. They're on it. I'm in the New York Minute. I'm a New Yorker. I like responses. I'm like, I get anxious. I'm like, I can't wait too long for people to get back to me. I like that.
Right. Well, thank you. Yeah, you can go to my website at www.loraccainspections.com. My main office line is area code 818-951-1795. That will put you into our queue to go into the scheduling department to ask any questions about pricing on inspections or availability on inspections. If you do wish to talk to me, you're welcome to let them know that, and they'll patch you back to my desk and so forth and so on. But yeah, that's the best way to get a hold of
Yeah,
us.
that's great. It's like me when I put my offers in, they're in an hour. My TC, my transaction coordinator, is on it. She works for me 7 days a week because I believe in being in the moment. Because if you snooze, you lose, and you have
Absolutely.
to get in the deal, right?
Right. And to your point, I have multiple inspectors.
Oh, yeah.
We don't just have one or
Right,
two
right,
inspectors.
right. One guy that runs around.
Right. So oftentimes we're able to service your clients.
And you do commercial as well.
Yes, we do commercial, residential, industrial. We do sewer line inspections. We do chimney
And that's
inspections.
so important.
We do
because
mold and
people
moisture
forget
inspections.
about that.
Yep.
The sewer lines.
Underground.
And that is not a good picnic when your toilets start backing up on you and you're sleeping in the middle of the night and they're gurgling. It happened to me in my house.
Yep.
And I was like, what is that? Is that the tidy bowl man in there?
Right.
And it's creepy. It was like 3 a.m. I'm like, and then we called some people and we had them look at it, but they had to go in and clean it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was serious.
No,
And we're going to take a break now. And Chris, thank you so much. Chris Griffin from Loraca Inspections. And if you keep on listening to my show, you're going to get more of his information. And I just adore them. And if you know anyone that's buying or selling or just wants to see what's going on, call him. And again, your number is
818-951-1795.
And thank you so much for the chocolates.
Thank you,
Oh,
Mina. It was a
goodness.
pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Loraca Inspections provides 4 of the most needed inspections when buying or selling real estate, and homeowners love their property reviews. Since 1994, they serve the greater Los Angeles area and its 100-plus communities. Schedule residential or commercial inspections for your comprehensive reports. Their inspections can save you money on repairs. Go to LoracaInspections.com and download the free guide to inspections. Call now for your free quote, 818-951-1795.
Felicia Dorado Insurance Agency specializes in your small business, homeowners, auto, umbrella, and life insurance needs. Their personalized staff is passionate to help you save money while keeping all your valuable assets covered. During these times, many people are concerned about insurance and getting the best value for their dollar. Felicia Dorado's insurance agency understands this and approaches each situation uniquely. Felicia Dorado's insurance agency has friendly hometown customer service reps that are ready to help you today. 661-288-2001.
Aloha, friends! Go check out Honu Coffee, home of the best cold brew coffee. What makes their coffee special is how their organic coffee beans are infused with nitrogen to create a smooth and delicious cup of coffee. You'll also find traditional bold coffees and island-inspired signature drinks. They're the perfect place to catch up with friends or just relax with your favorite cup of joe. Honu Coffee on Lyons and Walnut in Newhall. Stop by and say aloha.
And now for your convenience, a second Honu location at 23502 Lyons Avenue between Peachland and Apple.
And now a cooking tip from Keith Mowry from Bob's Country Meats. Everyone loves chicken. It's easy to cook in a variety of ways, especially on the barbecue.
Marinate it overnight in your favorite marinade, brown it up nice on the barbecue, and then put it on the other side, indirect heat, close your lid, take another 25-30 minutes, and they're good.
Chicken, tri-tip, pork chops, turkey, steaks, even exotic game like buffalo and ostrich. For the tastiest chicken in town, visit Bob's Country Meats on Soledad in Canyon Country.
When it comes to buying or selling your home, there's no room for error with your money. That's why Precision Escrow is the company you need to know. When selling your home, you want to make sure you're working with a company that has your best interest and keeps your money safe. That's why they use encrypted emails and secure trust accounting. Precision Escrow will follow the contract in detail from the beginning to the end and protect the parties involved. Working with Precision is like working with a huge family. Everyone is always smiling and cohesively working together for you. Check out their 5-star Yelp and Google reviews and see how they separate themselves from the competition. Whether you use an agent or sell your home yourself, they'll give you 30% off your transaction, which saves you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Use code RADIO30 to take advantage of the savings. Call Lauren Fredette, your representative, for more details. She's available 7 days a week during and after office hours. Call toll-free 877-393-4101. Let them help you through one of the most important decisions of your life.
Mina Cooper is a realtor focusing on trust, probate, divorce real estate matters, and more. She's published books on inherited and divorced properties, and she's got 20 years experience serving areas from Santa Barbara County down to San Diego County, making your real estate transactions real. Tune in to Listed by Mina every Tuesday at 2 p.m. for great perks, special guests, and surprises.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to 1220 AM, 98.1 FM KHTS Radio, listed by Mina Cooper. We're about trust, probate, divorce, real estate matters. I am a realtor with Keller Williams, and I am here to talk about things that arise in the dissolutions of relationships, whether it's death or a uncoupling, as I call it. And I have a wonderful person here, super interesting. And we met right before COVID, right, at a bar association event. And we kind of like were, oh, wow, you know, we were getting into the relationship part of things. And I thought it was so cool because I just love auctions, and I love to know more about the value of things, because I'm not that educated on that, because I never really had to do it. And I know Noelle Valentino from John Moran Auction House is really interesting. They deal a lot with trust and probate matters, so it goes hand in hand with what I do, because I've gone to garage sales, and I have purchased things that were for $5 and they were worth $1,000, because people don't know what they have and they never take the time out. No one tells them, and so be it. So, Noelle, do you want to tell us a little bit about the auction company that you work with?
Sure. So I work with John Moran Auctioneers and Appraisers. I'm a personal property appraiser, and I also work as a advisor and kind of professional, connecting with fiduciaries and attorneys and realtors like yourself to give them a sense of how they can help their clients who are in a situation of unloading lots of things. It could be anything from art to jewelry to furniture, and we can provide information on how to sell those items at auction, and then also what pieces might be better for, say, an estate sale or another venue from there. So we can kind of provide a really full service look at the property and how to handle the items inside, because each piece might warrant a different sale venue.
And I know for tax matters, it's super important for things to be documented by licensed professionals, because when you're doing your taxes, you want to make sure that it's documented properly when it's an inherited property, especially, and even a divorce situation, because, who better to know than someone who does this all day long?
You're exactly right. So we write a lot of appraisals for either estate tax. We also do quite a bit for insurance for any number of situations. You were talking about wildfires with your prior guest, and that's a great example of the kind of work that we've been doing more and more recently, where people are thinking about their art and their collectibles and really feeling that they want that kind of assurance. And then likewise, if they've inherited a property and they're thinking about those estate tax implications and what they need to really chronicle, sometimes they might have a $10 million house, but what's inside might only be worth maybe $7,000,
Yes.
and the IRS still wants to know that. Otherwise, they're going to think it was $1 million.
Right,
And
you
so
have to
you want to
justify it.
justify that and bring in a professional to do that, and that's what we do.
And who typically hires you? I know realtors can suggest you to the families and to the people involved, and the attorneys can have you on their roster of people to reach out to when they're dealing in a legal matter. I think super important, and I'm sure that the people have the money go into a escrow account of the attorneys before they divide everything.
Yep. So it really depends. Sometimes the client will be the attorney or the person handling the estate settlement. Sometimes the attorney will ask us to work with one of the trustees directly. It kind of depends on the situation in terms of who engages us and how, but it really varies from private clients who maybe hear of our services or are in need of them, or a kind of a professional that is aiding with the overall situation with the estate and that property.
And how long has your company been in business?
Yes, so our company has been working for about 51 years
Wow.
in the greater LA area. We also go far beyond. We're often down in San Diego, or we just loaded up several 53-foot trucks up from
Wow.
San Francisco.
With good stuff?
With very good stuff. Yes.
I want to see. Where's that container?
It's very exciting. Exactly.
I love shopping.
Yes. So we just, our warehouse is pretty full right now,
Oh.
expecting the auction of all of those items. So we're kind of out and about all over, both in the auction capacity, and then the appraisals is kind of a separate arm of what we do.
So when you guys do the auction, so you take the containers of the things that were in the house, the items in the house, and you go through them and see what's valuable enough for an auction, and then you auction it online? How are
That's
you
correct.
auctioning now?
Exactly. So what we do is we'll go into a home and we'll take a look around, and sometimes there's lots for us, and sometimes there's just a couple of items that are going to be right for our services, and we may suggest another venue for the rest. But regardless of the situation, we eventually send our crew over with as large or small a vehicle as needed, bring everything to our warehouse, and start the very extensive research process. All of the cataloging is done on site, all the photography, and then eventually it's all sold online. We have our own website. It's John Moran Auctioneers, and we sell through that platform. We also sell through a couple of big aggregating platforms, so you get a really broad audience across the internet. We sell on Live Auctioneers and Invaluable are the two other kind of big platforms where you'll find our sales running pretty frequently.
Interesting. So when people are interested in being part of the auction on the other side of things, right? So do they register? How does that work when you
Exactly.
want to purchase things? Because now just as anything, it's a good time if you have some money to buy some things that are valuable because you may get a good deal on it and resell it later on eBay.
It does happen all the time. I mean, we have items that will far exceed our expectations, and sometimes the beauty of auction is sometimes things maybe don't go for what they might in another venue, and so we're always encouraging people to tune in and place bids, and you never know if you'll get lucky or get in a bidding war with someone and break a record going the other way, up and up. We've had both happen pretty often.
Interesting.
But, yes, you can register on our website or also through those
and what
larger
is the website
platforms.
again?
So our website is John Moran Auctioneers. So johnmoran.com is our website. And yes, we have kind of full online illustrated catalogs. You can see everything by category ranging from jewelry to fine art. We sell everything kind of in very specific, curated, customized sales.
And you ship them out, obviously.
We do, yes. So that's another kind of part of the process after the sale is all the shipping logistics and so forth.
And what about you get cars?
We do get cars.
Because I'm sure car aficionados would love to know about that because people just are always looking for a car. And sometimes I'm sure the cars are collector's items.
They are, exactly. So we don't sell just kind of run-of-the-mill cars, if you will, but really special, exceptional, rare, classic cars and things of that nature will come through our auction pretty frequently. Since we're dealing with estates, it's always interesting to see what people have. And just in a recent sale, we had a really remarkable classic Mercedes. We sold a Rolls Royce not too long ago.
So did it go for a lot of money?
It did, yes. Really? Yeah, we were really excited about how that piece did. I want to say one of our Mercedes that we sold recently was well over $60,000, and that's for a classic car. And so sometimes one thinks about value. In that regard, so it's exciting.
It's fun. It's like opening a Cracker Jack box. You don't know what you get.
You never know. Exactly.
You get some fun things. Did you ever buy things yourself?
I have. I've bought a few things over time, and nothing too extraordinary. No Bentleys or Mercedes yet, but working my way up, I suppose.
And you ship out of the state?
Yes, we ship.
Countries?
In fact,
how is that going now with the COVID? How is shipping in other countries?
So we partner with third-party shippers, so they help us do a lot of those, kind of logistics. But as far as I know, there haven't been too many significant hiccups in that regard. We've still been able to get our clients their inventory at a pretty good clip.
And of course, people don't have to be going through a dissolution of a relationship to use you. They can just be cleaning.
That's correct. Exactly.
Or, whatever it is, they're rather have the money than the item.
Exactly. So sometimes people contact us because they have one painting. Sometimes they're going through and they're renovating and they want to go for a new style in their home. And so they're saying all these kind of antique traditional items we would like to sell. We want to go in a new direction, more modern. So there's any number of reasons why we might be brought in, but absolutely, probate and trust situations are certainly among them.
And you authenticate the value of things for insurance reasons?
So
how does that work?
So we're appraisers, but we're not authenticators by nature. So we can provide information about to the best of our expertise and our knowledge, of which our staff, we work as a team and we each have very specified information. But typically the way that it goes with art and antiques is that the authentication is kind of a separate process of which we can help facilitate, but it's usually different kind of bodies that are related to the artist in question or so forth that we would work with for authentication matters.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I'm looking forward to working together because often when I come into a home, especially if it's a dissolution of relationship type of thing, and you see all these things like, oh, wow, and they're like, well, just take care of it. I'm like, okay, so it's really good to know because obviously I don't know what's valuable. I don't. I'm not educated in that arena. I guess it's what people are willing to pay for it to some degree. But if you look at signatures and people have an eye for it and this is what they thrive on, it's so fun to be in that involved in that process, and then people get excited. They're like, "Wow, it's worth $5,000? I didn't know that. I thought it was only worth $500." And they must get super excited when they find out that it's got a lot more value.
They do. We have a lot of amazing stories where we're brought in just as the Junk Brothers truck is showing up or something, and we're like, wait, and then
That's so
there are
funny.
items that we've kind of pulled out of that bin and auctioned up for 30, 60, $100,000. Another great story about an umbrella rack that ended up selling for more than the house itself. So
Wow. Oh my
they
God.
were using it as an umbrella rack. It
So
certainly should
funny.
not have been one. It was a
love
very
it.
important piece of ceramic. So
Wow.
it really absolutely it's always worth bringing us in, and certainly we're always happy to work with realtors like yourself and really review what's there. And sometimes it's the most unexpected, most unassuming objects that might hold a lot of value, and sometimes the things that look flashy and gorgeous are more decorative and not necessarily
Yes.
what the market is demanding.
Yes.
So it does
Yeah.
require some expertise and some knowledge of really what's in
Right,
demand at
right,
auction today.
Right, and it's interesting. I have a stager on my team and transaction coordinators. I like to be very efficient in what I do because time is of the essence, right? And I can't tell you how many times we ordered a pod because there was so much stuff in there, and maybe the people were still living in there. It's a traditional sale, but you can't sell it like that. It's just stuff and accumulation of things. So we put in a pod, but it's probably good to, now that I'm more aware and just more focused on it now and listening to you, to go through with my stager that works for me, to go through the items and to see maybe there's something that looks interesting, whether it's an old table that looks authentic in some Renaissance way, I guess. It doesn't hurt to take a snapshot. Right? Is that something we could do?
It's exactly that. Yep. The best thing to do is, snap a photo or send us an email with an attachment and say, hey, is this anything? And typically we can do some preliminary advisement just based on photographs alone. And then from there, we can always come out to the house and really take a closer look and dig a little bit deeper if it warrants it. And if it's just that handful of items, we can get back to you pretty quickly with a yes, no, maybe, or this is what it's worth, or with different condition, this is what it would be worth, etc. So we're typically, on standby for that kind of communication.
That's awesome. So, Noelle, can you tell our listeners the best way to get in touch with you? We're going to wrap it up for right now. What's the best way to get in touch with your phone number so they have instant access to you?
Sure. So the best way to get in touch is either on the phone or email. Again, the company is called John Moran Auctioneers. I'm Noelle Valentino, and I'm in the Trust and Estates Department. My email is my first name at johnmoran.com. That's spelled Noelle. And my phone number is 202-341-9819.
Awesome. And of course, you can always reach me because I know how to reach her. I forced her to come to, no, I didn't. But, it's just super interesting. And I've been really excited about this moment. As soon as we met, things shut down. I'm like, oh, Noelle. I said, we were going to go out and talk, and because I find it fascinating. It's, uncovering things, right? It's like hunting. And you
sure
find
is,
this cool accessory that's interesting and different. And, I thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to working together. And, we're going to take a break now, and I really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
Felicia Gerardo Insurance Agency specializes in your small business, homeowners, auto, umbrella, and life insurance needs. Their personalized staff is passionate to help you save money while keeping all your valuable assets covered. During these times, many people are concerned about insurance and getting the best value for their dollar. Felicia Gerardo's Insurance Agency understands this and approaches each situation uniquely. Felicia Gerardo's Insurance Agency has friendly hometown customer service reps that are ready to help you today. 661-288-2001.
When it comes to buying or selling your home, there's no room for error with your money. That's why Precision Escrow is the company you need to know. When selling your home, you want to make sure you're working with a company that has your best interest and keeps your money safe. That's why they use encrypted emails and secure trust accounting. Precision Escrow will follow the contract in detail from the beginning to the end and protect the parties involved. Working with Precision is like working with a huge family. Everyone is always smiling and cohesively working together for you. Check out their 5-star Yelp and Google reviews and see how they separate themselves from the competition. Whether you use an agent or sell your home yourself, they'll give you 30% off your transaction, which saves you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Use code RADIO30 to take advantage of the savings. Call Lauren Fredette, your representative, for more details. She's available 7 days a week during and after office hours. Call toll-free 877-393-4101. Let them help you through one of the most important decisions of your life.
At Substrata, they're dedicated to be your go-to general contractor. They are a premier builder of high-end custom homes from the ground up, major remodels and expansions, multi-unit construction, and commercial tenant improvements for both retail and office build-out. Their focus on details and personal attention have been constant from conception of the project to completion. They build stories not with pen and keyboard, but with steel and manpower. Visit substrata.com or call 424-702-5700.
Loraca Inspections provides 4 of the most needed inspections when buying or selling real estate, and homeowners love their property reviews. Since 1994, they serve the greater Los Angeles area and its 100-plus communities. Schedule residential or commercial inspections for your comprehensive reports. Their inspections can save you money on repairs. Go to LoracaInspections.com and download the free guide to inspections. Call now for your free quote, 818-951-1795.
Mina Cooper is a realtor focusing on trust, probate, divorce real estate matters, and more. She's published books on inherited and divorced properties, and she's got 20 years experience serving areas from Santa Barbara County down to San Diego County, making your real estate transactions real. Tune in to Listed by Mina every Tuesday at 2 p.m. for great perks, special guests, and surprises.
I love it.
Right on!
Your hometown station.
Welcome back. You're listening to Listed by Mina Cooper, KHTS Radio 98.1 FM, 1220 AM. And I want to thank everyone for listening to my show because I really want to help people. Yes, I do want to make money too, of course. Who doesn't? But, what I do with my money is I give back. And I do a lot of animal advocate type of work and try to help families in need when I can, and selling homes does help me do that. And it's wonderful for me to be able to assist people in their lives. And what I do also right now, especially, I'm giving back $5,000 in buyers or sellers closing costs in escrow to help everyone, and just to give them those extra dollars that they need. And if you don't need the money, you can just give it to me. Just kidding. We can donate it to your favorite charity, and I take it out of my end, out of my commission, because that's what I'm all about. It's my why. It's what I'm passionate about, and I have many passions, but sometimes you just have to choose one or two. And children, animals are my passion. They don't have a voice. We do. And we're here to be their voice and to help that out and make sure that they're okay. And the people that are involved, the families involved with pets and children are okay. And as much as I could do, I will. And, a fun thing that I'm doing is I have been invited, and I've done an episode before on a national TV show, and I am looking for buyers that potentially want to be on the show. And it's when you hear the show, if you're interested, call me at 310 345-8500. It could be anywhere, any type of property in California, as long as I could drive there. Orange County, Santa Clarita, West LA, Ventura County, Santa Barbara. It's a really fun show to do, and there's a lot of things you could do with the show after you do film. I'm really excited that I had the opportunity to already do an episode, and I should be coming up on doing another one. We're in the works of that, and that's the fun side of things, and that helps me get through all of this also, because it's just fun. It's one of those bucket list things to do and share that with people, and they become your friends forever. Most of my clients end up talking to me forever. So you could never get away from me. I'm not a stalker. But, I'm that type of person. I will take the time out to talk to you. And if you need help, if you need referrals of anything, even if it's not real estate or whatever it is that you need, I do ask you to call me, email me, listed by Mina Cooper, and just put my name in front of there, Mina at listed by Mina Cooper. It's on my banner on the show. You can call Shane up here at the studio. He can give you my information. I just truly like to help people. Unfortunately, I was so busy this week, I didn't get a chance to do Pet of the Week. Last week we had a cat, and we're hoping to find homes for animals that need a home. So I will have a Pet of the Week for you next week, and you can apply for adoption. We do checks on people's homes to make sure that they go to the right place. As you can imagine, everybody has a heart, and I'm so happy that a lot of the shelters are empty, and I'm really, stoked about that. I'm really excited. There are funds if you need medical care or whatever. Reach out to me for your pets or what have you, and I will assist you as much as I can. Again, you're listening to Listed by Mina Cooper. My number again is 310-345-8500, and I look forward to hearing from you.